The deposit conundrum. How much you need, and is it better to save or have the minimum? Josh Vecchio, mortgage broker with Hunter Galloway, the home for home buyers Australia-wide. And in this video, we're going to uncover how much you should save for a deposit and how you can get the biggest bang for buck for the money. Step by step, so keep watching. 1. Base versus inclusive. So let's start off with the fundamentals and build from there. It's important to understand that the market has considerably changed, and at the moment, there's really two types of minimum deposit home loans, both referred to a 95% loan to value ratio, or LVR for short. They're known as base or inclusive. Let's look at the difference. Firstly, with base, considering a $500,000 purchase price with a 95% base LVR, it'd mean that you'd only need $25,000 deposit, or about 5%. Essentially, with the base LVR, you can simply multiply it against the property value. Looking at this scenario, the formula would be $500,000 multiplied by 95%. This would be your loan amount. That's $475,000. The difference between that and the purchase price would be how much deposit is needed. Looking at inclusive, and this is where things get a little bit complicated. 95% inclusive LVR means that the maximum loan to value ratio would be 95% of the value of your property, including your mortgage insurance. It generally means that you're going to need between an 8 and 9% deposit. So looking again at that $500,000 purchase price, the loan amount would actually be, in this case, $460,000, and the mortgage insurance would be put on top of this, that being an estimated $14,000. So in total, you'd be lending $474,000. That means that your inclusive loan to value ratio would be 94.8%, meaning that your deposit would actually increase to needing around $40,000. So let's recap. A base loan to value ratio means that you're borrowing the full amount without having to consider other factors like mortgage insurance, whereas an inclusive loan to value ratio means you'll have to consider other costs and take off things such as mortgage insurance. Okay, great. We're now on the same page. Let's move on. 2, the sweet spot. There's really 2 levers you're able to pull if you've got a higher deposit. The first is your mortgage insurance, and the second is interest rate. We'll come back to interest rate in a second. Looking at your mortgage insurance, knowing that the higher your deposit, the lower the fee. Knowing that the higher your deposit, the lower the fee is an important first step. But things get interesting once we uncover that mortgage insurance is a tiered premium system. Looking at the premium sheet, we can see that for a loan amount between $300,000 and $500,000, the premium for an 85% loan to value ratio would be about 0.97%. Whereas when we're over 90%, it jumps to over 1.92%. And just a quick side note, this is a premium for one mortgage insurer. Each have different rates and therefore should be really considered more as a guide, as it doesn't really take into consideration other costs such as government stamp duty, which is also payable on top of this figure. But for the sake of simplicity, we've opted to leave these out. So back to it, this means that your mortgage insurance cost doesn't just increase based on your loan amount, but more importantly, it increases because of your loan to value ratio. And here's where the magic begins. Where we see the biggest impact is once you've got a loan to value ratio over 90%. So taking a look at that example once more, let's say you're buying a property for $500,000 and have the ability to put down a 10% deposit. So should you, or would it be better to put the minimum needed? Okay, well, we already know that mortgage insurance is around $14,000 for a 95% inclusive loan to value ratio. So what would it be if we use an additional $10,000 or 2% to bring this under 90%? Well, it'd mean that your mortgage insurance would actually reduce to $9,000. That's a reduction of $5,000 for an additional $10,000 deposit. How crazy is that, and what a phenomenal payoff? 3, how the tiering system works. Most mortgage insurers increase their premiums every 1%. This means that the premium you pay for a loan to value ratio between 84.01% and an 85% would be completely different to that compared to a loan to value ratio between 85.01% to 86%. But not all tiers are equal. On the low end, a jump in tier is typically a non-event. an additional 0.1% on the premium. But once we're over that 85% mark, we really start to see a big jump in these premium tiers. One of the biggest being that of the premium band between 89.01% and 90%, with a premium of 1.92%. But once we are over that 90%, that is to say 90.01%, it jumps to 2.44%. That's over 0.5% difference. So let's take a look at that $500,000 purchase price example. Being only 0.01% over that 90% mark would mean an additional $50 in lending. By lending that additional money, your mortgage insurance premium would increase by $2,340 in mortgage insurance. Yeah, you've heard me right. That extra $50 would actually cost you an additional $2,340 for the privilege. And this is where things get interesting, because it all comes down to the bands. Knowing and understanding this means that you can plan accordingly for interest rates. Now here's a kick under the belt. The higher your loan to value ratio, the higher your interest rate. Crazy, right? And to be honest, for me to really do this justice would need a video on this topic in and of itself. So if this is something you'd like to learn more about, let me know in the comments below, and I'll look to dedicate a full video on this very topic. 5, my final thoughts. I believe so is fast, and buying property is something that mustn't be rushed. Planning in advance, which allows success for both now and in the future, because poor decisions are those which are made in the spur of the moment. And as the great Abraham Lincoln once said, if you give me 6 hours to chop a tree down, I'll spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. With mortgages, you sharpen by budgeting and borrowing well below your limits. It's so easy to jump in and just start chopping. With property, you'd be likened to buying without a game plan. And a game plan is doing your research on the property, having your negotiation plan, having enough saved, and being ready for your mortgage life. And yeah, sure, it's fun to run, but a split-second decision could have an impact over the next 30 years of your life. So there you have it. It's over to you. Are you looking to buy a place? Did you know here at Hunter Galloway, we help people across Australia? So whether you're looking to refinance or buy, you're in good hands. Simply reach out and call us on 1300 088 065 or visit us online at huntergalloway.com.au. Thanks for watching, and remember to hit that subscribe button below. I'll see you next time.